run. What a run. That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen.
Receivers, and this time he lost one and it's picked off.
And Brady and Moss hook up great football players, showing why they're great.
He's got it. 20, 10. He's got it.
End zone. Touchdown Titans.
Well, hey, here we are on Wednesday night after Thanksgiving. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving with your family and friends. We skipped last week due to the holiday and traveling, so we're glad to be back. Wrapping up week 13. Week 13, we're wrapping up, getting close to the playoffs, guys, for fantasy sports football. I know that I had a hard time in some of my brackets / guillotine / whatever you want to call them leagues. Had some roughs and ups and downs, made a few here and there. Doing real good in Dynasty this year. I'm really, really happy with the Dynasty stuff due to the way I build my teams with handcuff, and I'm a big handcuffer, so been, pretty thankful for that. I know that the injuries continue to happen. The NFL has been really, really different this year in fantasy. So, we'll touch more on that as we go into tonight's show. We got a pretty big show. I just wanted to let you guys know that Jay's going to be back with us on Saturday. We're going to do a Saturday special, and going forward, Jay's going to be doing Saturdays. I will continue to do Wednesdays on YouTube, and then we have our iHeartRadio Inner Circle that I do on Friday nights. That's been great with our parodies, been really, really fun stuff. And then we also have our Inner Circle kickoff for our leagues, which is going to start on January 3rd. And we're going to kick that off on all three of our platforms with Inner Circle app. Will be the only way you'll be able to get into an Inner Circle league. And then iHeartRadio will promote that. And the YouTube channel that we do with DFS Advisor will also promote that. But again, that's only by invite only. Those leagues, guys, are to promote an inner circle of people that are committed to fantasy football. We vet those people that come into those leagues. We vet our commissioners. And it's meant to bring a level of integrity to the game that has fallen short lately. And we're looking forward to it. We have already started our Devy leagues in those areas. The Devy leagues have been a big, big part of what we're doing this year. And we've already filled 16 Devy leagues, guys, 16. We have a target of 20. We're not going to go over 20. So we have 4 more Devy leagues to fill for 2026. We've already done all our drafting in those 16 leagues on the college side. And we will be doing our vet NFL and rookie drafts after the Super Bowl. So a lot happening. The app has been completed. Our paywall is complete. A lot of new stuff, guys. It's kind of been a step-by-step for me. Been doing this primarily alone. I have 3 real great supporters that have been doing a lot of behind the scenes. Bryce, I cannot thank you enough for everything you've done for Inner Circle and DFS Advisor. Man, you are the backbone from a tech side for us. And our legal group out of Tampa has really stepped up and helped us get everything in place to to conduct business. We are a business, guys. This level of fantasy football, this level of what we're doing, it becomes a business. It was a decision I made when I left Ballsville to decide whether or not to go forward with just my Tampa media journalism, or to really, get into what I really, really love to do, and that's fantasy football. And to do it right, it takes money. And to do it right, it takes structure. And to do it right, it takes people that believe in a vision. And that vision was birthed right after I left Ballsville. And it was a big decision for me. And I struggled with it. But my heart is in fantasy football. My heart is in the NFL, in sports in general. And my vision is to bring a sports update, a sports advisor for fantasy players, whether it be hockey, basketball, NASCAR. We want to bring a spectrum of all of it to you guys. And so I've sat back, took my time, and really tried to decide where we're headed. I know there's a lot of different shows out there. If you look at your day-to-day run-of-the-mill sports and DFS and fantasy, they update what everybody else updates. We're going to be a grassroots, real people, working man type of place. We want to have fun in our parody stuff, guys. Man, wow. Our parody stuff has brought a whole different view of fun. And we did our first filming of our skit. And if you see me kind of scruffed up, I'm getting ready to play the role of Sorry for Kissing Ass. That's going to be my role in the parody. And it's kind of funny to sit back. There's a whole nother person playing the role of Jimbo's. And so the other day we were filming, I don't know what scene it was. We got like 6 different scenes of the parody. And for Dollsville, not Ballsville, Dollsville. And it was kind of funny because the guy playing Jimbo's, he came up to me, I don't know, about midway of the shoot. And he said to me, he goes, "Man, I don't know how to take you, dude." He goes, "Should I come off more mean? Should I come off more lighthearted, or what should I do?" I said, "Dude, just do what you think is right and have fun with it." And we have had so much fun with this parody. The parodies guys on the iHeartRadio, where we have more liberty to do a lot of things than we do on YouTube. So it's going to be great. You guys are going to, it's fire. It really is fire. It's going to piss some people off. There's no doubt. But it's also, if you step back and don't look at it from a personal situation, you're going to laugh your ass off. It's like getting stoned and watching Saturday Night Live. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And we put a lot of time into it. We hired a parody group that does parodies for a living. And they're kind of structuring it all and doing all the skit shoots. So I've spent a lot of time after work going and doing those skits, and it's really cool because they have a dressing room, they have a makeup group, and so it's been a lot of fun, and brought a whole different light to entertainment. And that's what we want to do. We want to bring entertainment to you guys. We want to make you laugh. We want to piss you off. We want to make you think, and just have fun. So look at the parodies as fun entertainment. I hope you guys enjoy them. The only way you can get them is by being a member of the Inner Circle app, which is going to cost you money. Our Inner Circle app is $12.99 a month. We already have 129 members. And I want to thank all of you that have stepped up and wanted to be a part of that. It's been great. The only way you can become a member is to contact me personally via my phone, text, X, Facebook, and on our YouTube channel and on our iHeartRadio. Those are the only ways you can become a member for Inner Circle. Our Inner Circle basketball leagues have kicked off this year. We have 6 basketball leagues. We got a late start on that, but we're having a lot of fun with it. For me, it's been a learning experience. I'm not a big basketball guy, but I've had fun with it. And it's brought me in touch with a whole new group of people. It's been fresh. It's been cool, and I'm enjoying it. So if any of you guys are wanting to get into basketball, it's a little too late for this year for us at Inner Circle, but we will look to grow that from our Inner Circle side. From a standpoint of promotions, guys, our promotions have grown leaps and bounds since we started the show. And our main backbone of supporters has come from Premier Properties. I want to thank Steve and Nikki. They continue to breathe life into our show, into us as a business, and I really want to thank Steve and Nikki. So if you guys are listening, I know you are. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We also have Selected Truck Brokers out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, who has come on as a sponsor. They've helped us open the door to truck drivers. We're doing a truck driver show on Friday nights. That also is on YouTube. It is a sports type, Scott Farrell type show. It's a little more adult. It's a little more raw. So if you are into that type of thing and you like to hear it straight and you like to hear it raw, we have a raw show on Friday nights on YouTube at 10 p.m. Feel free to check that out. I host that show also. The Saturday night show on YouTube is going to be 100%. It's going to be done with Jay. It's going to be primarily all Devy leagues in fantasy. It's going to be a lot of college football, and that's going to be our show on Saturday nights. So tune into that. Jay has not decided on the time yet. I will get you guys that time as soon as Jay gets it to me. He's been real busy with family and things, and January 1st is going to kind of be his kickoff. So we're going to pay attention to that. Bryce is always in the background, and Bryce is always supporting all of our Bryce is the administrator of Inner Circle. He's the administrator for DFS Advisor and all of our apps. So thank you to Bryce. Thank you for that. The Freaky Tiki is also a new sponsor. They're local here in Hernando Beach. and they do a nightly cruise, kind of like it's kind of like a tiki hut on a pontoon boat. It's real laid back. The dude Norm, he runs that. Hernando Beach, where I live, is a real small shrimping town, and we get a lot of weekend warriors here, kayakers for the Weeki Wachee River. Charter boat fishing is big here in town, and Norm does kind of a cool little deal where he takes the Freaky Tiki out to the flats. He takes it out and takes you drinking, takes you watching football, takes you watching sunsets. Some of the sunsets here, guys, are unbelievable. So it's a great thing. Norm's going to be on the show to promote what he's doing. You guys will get a little bit closer look at that in the near future. J.R. Lewis. J.R. Lewis is a good friend. He's going to be doing a lot of our entertainment. He's going to be doing a lot of our videos. He's going to be doing a lot of our music, and in helping us out with some live entertainment shows that we're doing with our Tailgater Deluxe. Tailgater Deluxe has really taken off. If you guys don't know about it, it's a charity that my wife and I put together that takes tailgating to unfortunate people that don't get a chance to enjoy sports and tailgating. We take the tailgating to them. We take them food. We take them entertainment. And that has really, really taken off. It's been a big part of what we're doing week in and week out right now with football. We have also done a few shows with hockey. We've got some hockey fans here in Southwest Florida, and they have really caught on to the Tailgater Deluxe also. All right. So with that, we're going to get into, one other thing. From the promotion side, guys, if you guys are on our Discord, you probably see Sudden Death, Press Box. Scott and Sean are a big part of my life. They're great friends. We support their show. They're back on the air again. And I really would like to take a minute to promote what them guys are doing. I really, really love them guys. They bring a side to fantasy football better than mainstream media, as far as I'm concerned. Sean puts a lot of time into research. He puts a lot of time into bringing what you guys want to hear type of thing, if you will. And they're back on the air. They're doing good. They got great following. They picked up right where they left off when they left Ballsville, and they're doing really, really good. So if you guys want to check them out, tune into our Discord. They advertise there on a weekly basis. We try to promote them anytime we get a chance to. So check them guys out on Sudden Death, Press Box. They're on YouTube every week night on Tuesday nights. They also have what they call their shorts, which kind of is it's a brief kickoff of little things that are happening during the week where Sean might think something's cool, Scott might think something's cool. They call them shorts. They're great little 20-minute deals, 15-minute deals, and they're entertaining. They're fun. They're informative. They talk about trades. They talk about waivers. They talk a lot of things that fantasy football players need to hear. So tune into them guys. They are also going to be having leagues somewhat like Inner Circle is. They're more into the bracket type specialty leagues. So tune into them guys. Check out their Facebook. I know they got a website getting ready to drop. Check them guys out. Get into their leagues. They are very trustworthy commissioners. And like always, vet your commissioners, guys, before you join leagues. There's a lot of trash out there. There's a lot of guys that are taking money. They lure you in. to fantasy football, and they find ways to scam you. It's no different than Facebook in real life. Fantasy football is a way to screw people. So be very careful where you spend your money. Be very careful where you get involved in fantasy sports, because there's good ones and bad ones. So vet your commissioners and vet your leagues before you join them. I have a good friend of mine that is helping me put together a group where we're going to bring to you after the first of the year on our weekly show on YouTube. On the Wednesday night show, we're going to be talking about good commissioners, bad commissioners, leagues that you got to be careful with your collective types of leagues, where the opportunity for them to take your money is a lot higher, where you need to be more careful, and you can get involved in that and really get some good information on where you spend your money as far as gambling on sports fantasy stuff. All right. With all of that, we're going to move into what I believe was probably one of the biggest sports news things this week. And, you can look at the NFL, you can look at the injuries, you can look at everything. But to me, the coaching aspect of college football and the coaching aspect of the NFL kind of go right and left hand. And if you look at it over the years, it's all about the money, guys. It's all about cash. It's all about exposure. The Lane Kiffin move from Ole Miss to LSU, to me, was probably the biggest sports story this week. I think it drowned out everything else. It drowned out what's going on in the NFL by leaps and bounds. It drowned out what's going on with NASCAR, with the lawsuits that are going on with the antitrust. I think it drowned out anything that's happening in basketball. And Lane Kiffin leaving Ole Miss and going to LSU, to me, it was a gut punch. I think Lane Kiffin screwed every single football player on the Ole Miss team. If you want to put a price on that, go ahead and put it on it, because it was about $13 million worth of screwing all the guys that he promised everything to. And to walk away from a playoff-bound college football team and leave them hanging, I think was one of the lowest things you can do as a football coach. It just proves that money is more important than life to Lane Kiffin. And to Jimbo's, I think Lane Kiffin could have done this deal and walked away from Ole Miss at the end of the season and not left his team in limbo like he did. I think he could have made that happen. And by not doing that and walking out the door like he did, to me, was a gut punch. And to me, it was very greedy on his part. I think it was very arrogant on LSU's part. I think the new NIL of college football kind of forced his hand to do that. By him leaving now, he kind of needed to do that from a recruiting standpoint. But it still doesn't justify it to me. I'm really disappointed in Lane Kiffin. I think the guy's a good football coach. I don't think he's the best. I think he's a good football coach. But to me, he lost a lot of credibility by the way he did it. And so, therefore, I will not support LSU. I won't draft a Debbie player from LSU other than Barry, which I already have stock in Barry, and I'll hold that. But just for that simple fact, I'm not going to be an LSU fan by any means. So Lane Kiffin stole the show from a standpoint of news. Mainstream media is all over it. With Kelly leaving out there, which I never liked Kelly anyway. So it's better for LSU to have Lane Kiffin. But I really, really feel for the players, the football players at Ole Miss, because they deserve better. They have played their guts out for this coach, and for this coach to just walk away from them like he did, to me, he's a piece of shit. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and let our listeners know that this is an adult show. We do cuss and swear every now and then. We don't intend to do it purposely. It does happen. And if you have any young kids listening to the show, we lean more towards an adult type show. So keep that in mind if you are a listener of the DFS Advisor. We do cuss and swear every now and then, so keep that in mind. Moving on to another coaching change, which I was very, very happy to see. It was a kind of a, man, I'm bummed. Man, I'm really, really happy once I seen who they were getting. And you all know that I'm a big South Florida football guy. Golish has done a great job of coaching these guys down here in Tampa. I love them. Him moving to Auburn and taking that job, I'm very, very happy for him. He's a great football coach. He deserves a step up. He deserves more money. He deserves that coaching spot. And for him to take it, I'm happy for him. And to see that we're, a week later, few days later, getting Brian Hartline from Ohio State, offensive coordinator, wide receiver coach. Guys, I'm telling you what, that's a big step. I was never really in tune with Brian Hartline from Ohio State, offensive coordinator, wide receiver coach. I really didn't even know who he was, to be honest with you. I knew who he was as a professional football player, but didn't really understand and know that he worked under Day and was doing what he'd been doing at Ohio State. And if you look at what this guy has done with the Ohio State wide receivers and the offensive coordinating of that team, that should make you very, very excited for UCF. To bring him down here and make him the head coach, I think is a great move for USF. And I think they'll be happy they did that. What Brian Day does offensive coordinator-wise in the future, I'm not really sure, but that's Ohio State's problem. And I really like that coaching move. So that's, to me, a bigger story in my heart than Lane Kiffin to LSU. This guy, guys, if you take a look at this guy's history and you take a look at what he's done to build the Ohio State offense, the Ohio State wide receiver room, there is no better wide receiver room in college football. Period. I don't give a shit who you think has better wide receivers in a better offense. You line them up, you put them up there, and my money's on this guy at Ohio State. So I'm really, really excited for Brian Hartline coming down here and taking over this team. I think he's going to have a great future here in Southwest Florida, and I don't think they will miss a beat. I think if anything, it's going to add to their offense. They have a killer quarterback, very talented quarterback, and I think by him recruiting the wide receiver room that he will, only makes these guys more deadly. more accurate, more performing, and I think you'll see good things out of USF going forward. So I'm really, really liking that move. I also, before we get too far going, guys, I'm going to continue to talk about the Expo. The Expo is a big deal to me. We're very, very involved in the Expo. Fantasy football players from East Coast, West Coast, North and South, guys, this is something you should be involved in. This is something that if you are a degenerate, you are a hardcore fantasy football player, y'all need to think about taking your vacations, think about taking your days off, think about telling your wife you're going golfing or whatever you need to do to get here. But come to the Fantasy Football Expo in July in Canton, Ohio, to give you a chance to get away and have some fun. This is probably the #1 fantasy football public event that's going to take place in 2026. And I have a lot of good friends that are deeply rooted in this program, and it's intended to bring fantasy football to fantasy football players, commissioners, everybody. So get involved in this and check it out. Keep it on your calendar, and I hope to see you guys in Canton. I will have a booth there. You'll be able to meet Jimbos, get your T-shirts, your hats, your autographs if you think they're worth a shit. And we're going to have fun. We're going to party. We're going to draft. We're going to do a lot of live drafts. It's going to be a lot of fun. So put aside some time to come to the Fantasy Expo. All right. Now, we're going to let you guys know that today's hump day. Today's Wednesday. We look forward to it from our standpoint as bringing you guys this podcast. We look forward to it from a work aspect that is halfway through the week. This is our Camel Judo. We call him Judo. He's our guy here in Southwest Florida. He's our hump day camel. That's Judo. So we got some T-shirts with Judo on it coming up to you guys. It's going to be our hump day promotion for our podcast on Wednesday night on YouTube. So get to know Judo, get to know about him, get to know about hump day, and get to know about our fantasy show that we do on Wednesdays. So happy hump day to all you guys watching tonight. So thank you for that. This is in a little bit different avenue. I spent some time talking to Scott Farrell. Scott Farrell's kind of a friend of mine and Lisa's. We, back in his Sirius radio days, Howard Stern days, Lisa and I got a chance to spend some time with Scott Farrell. We used to listen to him all the time on the road. And just so happens he was a big Vegas guy, and Lisa and I got a condo in Vegas, and we used to spend a lot of time out there. Well, we got to know Scott Farrell pretty well. And Scott has helped me bring a light to where I'm headed in radio, where I'm headed in podcasting, where I'm headed in parody. And Scott said to me, he said, "Hey, Jimmy, what you really need to do, dude, is you need to take this to what we used to do on Sirius. You need to take this late night. You need to take this to the truckers. Take it back to your roots." So I want to respect all the truck drivers out there, all my old friends, all the truck drivers out there, guys. We're putting together a sports show for you guys to follow your sports followings, your sports desires. And we're going to be bringing you guys a show on every Friday night at 10 p.m. So thank you to the truck drivers that work in the snow, the rain, day in, day out, night. You guys truck it up, and we really love you, and we thank you. And we're looking forward to the show we're going to start bringing you guys on Friday nights. It's coming up real soon. So thanks to the truckers out there. Let's talk about this dude for a minute. All right. George Pickens. Guys, is he a #1 or is he a #2? Now, I know a lot of you guys that are Lamb owners in fantasy, you're starting to not like this. But all you Pickens owners that stuck it out with this dude up there in Pittsburgh, and now that he's found his home in Dallas, and you had him on your fantasy team, you're loving life. This guy is going to be a fantasy football championship winner for whomever has this cat on their team. To me, these numbers right here, I don't have Lamb's numbers, but if anybody wants to throw them in chat and try to prove me wrong, I don't think they're much different than what you're looking at right there. I don't think CD Lamb's numbers are much different than that. So if you line these two dudes up side by side, I honestly think that Dak Prescott has taken a liking to Pickens. And I'll tell you why I think that. I think that because I think Pickens is a harder worker on the football field than CeeDee Lamb. All right. CeeDee Lamb had no competition till now. And now, okay, so CeeDee Lamb got paid. He got paid. All right. So he can sit back and say, okay, cool. Knock yourself out. But at the end of the day, it's about fantasy points for us. So how do you look at Pickens in this offense? I think he's the number one right now. Okay. You can sit and say Lamb's the number one because of his name. Lamb's the number one because he's been there longer. Lamb is Lamb. But I'm telling you what, if I had to sit on championship week and pick which one of these two wide receivers I'm going to put in my lineup, CeeDee Lamb or George Pickens, at this point, I'm taking George Pickens. I like his route running. I like his hands. I like his aggression. I like his attitude. And I love the relationship he has built with Dak Prescott. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to trade CeeDee Lamb away for George Pickens if you're in a championship run. If you are in a championship run and you are playing to win the ship, I'm telling you right now, take this dude over CeeDee Lamb. I'm telling you, take him. If he wasn't even hurt, okay, if St. Brown wasn't hurt, I probably would even trade Pickens for St. Brown to have him in my lineup in championship week in the playoffs. So this guy is somebody sought after. If you have a chance to give away some picks, to get him from somebody that is on the losing side of a league and is in a rebuild, I'm telling you, target it. Find where you can get this guy as best you can, because he's probably going to be a breadwinner in a championship run. I guarantee it. So that's my take on George Pickens. I've been hot on this guy ever since he was at Pittsburgh. I actually called this trade long before anybody else, long before your Scheffners, long before anybody else. I had this trade going to Dallas. I not only had him getting traded from the Pittsburgh Steelers, I actually had him getting traded to the Dallas Cowboys. So if any of my hot takes were on point, this one was the cake for me for the year. I pegged this one from the get. So anyways, that's my George Pickens rant. I love the kid. I think he can make a great championship run. We're going to give a shout out to Lisa. Lisa's out there in chat. We got Ryan from iHeartRadio in chat. Ryan, I got to bring you up, dude. I'm sorry. I got to bring you out. Guys, just so you know, our YouTube channel kind of coexists with our iHeart. And it's really hard to explain, but our YouTube channel dumps everything into our iHeart. And then iHeart cherry picks off this podcast for content for what we do on iHeartRadio. So if you guys aren't real up to speed with iHeartRadio, it's a great thing. There's great liberties there for me as a podcaster, and I'm enjoying it. They have taught me so much about being on the air. They've taught me so much about legalities, and they're great people. And Ryan, thanks for being out there and supporting us through iHeartRadio. All right, let's move on. This is a big one, guys. This is another big news deal going on this week that we got to talk about. All right. This antitrust thing in NASCAR is big. This could be one of the biggest corporate shakeups in history of sports. I believe that Denny Hamlin, through his connections with Michael Jordan in 2311, is going to be the biggest shakeup in NASCAR ever. Okay. I don't know if you guys are big NASCAR fans. I don't know if you guys are listening to this, but this is big stuff. The things that have been happening behind closed doors, the things that have been happening in NASCAR in this antitrust suit are huge. And the big problem to me is how NASCAR was so arrogant. NASCAR's always been arrogant. Let's just put that out there. They're like a dictatorship. Got to be careful, Jimmy. They are a dictatorship in NASCAR, just like you have dictatorships in fantasy sports. They think their ego, they think their power supersedes the rights of other people. Oh man, I want to really go a different way. Anyways, stay on track, Jimmy. This is so serious that this could change the NASCAR landscape forever. Okay? If Dale Earnhardt was here today, I promise you, he'd be telling NASCAR, shut your mouth and do the right thing. Okay? When you got guys like Mark Martin is probably one of the most iconic NASCAR drivers. He wasn't a big-time winner. He won. He won his fair shares of races. Never won a ship. Never won a championship. But this dude, back in the ASA days, I'm a big ASA guy. So when Mark Martin came up through, he came the real hard way. And he was a big-time underdog. I got a lot of respect for Mark Martin. Mark Martin was probably one of the most professional people ever in NASCAR. And when this antitrust thing started getting out of hand and all these, slash text messages and all this shit started getting leaked by NASCAR to, oh my God, here we go again, to create their narrative that they wanted to bring to the NASCAR following. Mark Martin stood up and he said, you know what? It's bullshit. Y'all don't take and treat Richard Childress. You don't take and treat some of these icons of NASCAR and leak this shit and talk about this shit like you are. And Mark Martin stood up. He's only a small dude. He stood up and he made noise and he said, this is wrong. And what you're doing is wrong. And when you get guys like Mark Martin, your Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is a big influence in NASCAR. NASCAR's got a lot of cards stacked against them, and if they don't watch their step, they could stand to lose everything that they've ever had since the old days of old Big France, Bill France Sr. And if you knock these guys down to their knees, which is fixing to happen with this Michael Jordan, Denny Hamlin, 2311, Front Row Motorsports, they're bringing things out. And you want to know what? I think this is such great timing, especially for Jimmy, because they're telling the truth. They are exposing people that need to be exposed, that have never been exposed for what they did. Never been exposed for their dictatorship running management style. And I'm telling you guys, this NASCAR thing that's going on right now, pay attention to it if you're a NASCAR fan, because it could change your 2026 season, just like the 26th season in fantasy football could be very changed landscape-wise. Because when you expose people for doing the wrong thing and you speak the truth, things like this happen in their history. They are history-making things that change the landscape of the sports that we all love. So I really think that, Michael Jordan, okay, let's face it, guys. Okay, we all know Michael Jordan, basketball icon of the world, Nike, on and on and on. Do y'all know where Michael Jordan is from? He is from North Carolina. Michael Jordan played for the Tar Heels. Okay? Michael Jordan owns, or partially owns, the Hornets basketball team in Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay. This court case is in North Carolina. Now, you want to tell me who better to be your front man in a court case than Michael Jordan? I don't give a shit if your name is Bill France Sr., Jr. I don't give a shit if your name is Mike Helton. I don't give a shit if your name is Phelps. I don't give a shit if your name is NASCAR. This dude's name is Michael Jordan, and he is the front man for 2311. He is the front man for Front Row Motorsports, and he is the front man in this court case. Who do you think is going to win this court case? Who? If I had to put my money on this, I'm going to say 2311 comes out of this smelling like a rose. I don't know if they're going to get their whole $203 million settlement, but I guarantee you they win the case, and I guarantee you he gets paid, and I guarantee you he will be a full-time charter, and I guarantee you Denny Hamlin will sign his contract with 2311 after this court case is settled. So anyways, that's my NASCAR take on this. This is probably bigger news than anything going on in NFL football. This is a great big shakeup, just as big as the IRL and Indy. This is probably way bigger than that. And when you got guys like Michael Jordan and Dale Earnhardt Jr. and I don't know. Do any of y'all listen to Kenny Wallace, Coffee with Kenny Wallace on Facebook? If you don't, you need to. If you're a NASCAR fan and you don't listen to Kenny Wallace, having coffee with Kenny Wallace on Facebook, do it. It's one of the most entertaining things in racing. Denny Hamlin did a show with Kenny Wallace prior to all this crap happening. Really told a lot about Denny Hamlin to me. I was never a real big Denny Hamlin fan until I saw some of the stuff he did on Kenny Wallace's show, where he told the truth, where he spoke from the heart. And you can tell a lot about people when they speak from the heart and when they tell the truth, and they expose people. And Denny Hamlin has done just that, and he's continuing to do it in this court case. So if you're a NASCAR fan, pay attention to that. All right, going forward, we got a few things happening that I think you guys should know about. This is one of them. All right, check this out. All right. Throughout all of this quarterback 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, what was it? 6 quarterbacks on this roster at the beginning of the season. This dude's coming off the pup. This dude's going to practice. This dude is back in the mix. Deshaun Watson freed up to play for Cleveland. Was this the plan? Was this the plan all along? To keep this guy getting better, getting healthy, to play? Or was it to finally get off from this bad trade deal? Now, with all the money involved in this trade that brought Deshaun Watson to the Cleveland Browns, do you think Cleveland's smart enough to get off this guy? Or do you think Cleveland's dumb enough to bring this guy in as their 26th starter? This is baffling. It's baffling to me. Why he's not already gone, I don't understand. But I would not put it past Haslam to have this guy competing in a quarterback room, creating controversy to play in 2026 for the Cleveland Browns. So my hats are off to Shedeur Sanders. I'm glad he has an opportunity to prove himself. He's gotten better each week he's been behind center. I think he's a better quarterback than Gabriel. So I think the Browns have made the right decision to start Sanders. What type of hocus pocus this shit brings with Watson getting ready to start practicing, we'll see. Does he play in 2025? I don't know. Does he start in 2026? I don't know. Do they trade him? I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in chat. Hit me up what you think about Deshaun Watson and his chances of being quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. So now we're going to move on to this controversy. All right. As a kid, I grew up a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And when I say kid, I'm talking about my early teenage years, my high school years of playing football in high school. I've always been a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Jack Ham, Lynn Swann, John Stallworth, you name it. Rocky Bleier, Franco Harris, Terry Bradshaw. But this dude here, to me, you want to talk about game managers for quarterbacks? We all talk about game managers, right? We talk about your Brock Purdy's. We talk about your Daniel Jones. We talk about your game managers. This dude right here, to me, is the epitome of an NFL coach that is a game manager. He does just what he's got to do to get by, to keep everybody's mouth shut. He does just what he's got to do to get by, to keep his job. Now, when Mike Tomlin played football, I liked the dude. When Mike Tomlin came to the NFL as a head coach, I liked the dude. What Mike Tomlin has done to the Pittsburgh Steelers is despicable. He's made them average. They are no longer an icon. They are no longer an icon in the NFL. They are looked at as average. Average. And to me, he needs to go. I like the guy. I think he's been a great football coach. I love his integrity, and I love his culture. Okay? But he's a shitty football coach. I think it's time for him to go. Now, if you don't think so, let me know in chat. Tell me in chat you don't think Mike Tomlin needs to go. I think he needs to go. I think now is the time. I think, at the end of the year, they're going to move off of, Aaron Rodgers anyway. I think it's a great time to start with Howard and Rudolph. Get a quarterback in the draft. This guy needs to go. Does he stay in the NFL? Probably. There's a lot of people that have a lot worse coaches than Mike Tomlin. a lot. But to coach an icon team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, I don't think this guy is going to get anything more done going forward than he's already proven that he can do. So as fantasy football players, we talk about floors, we talk about ceilings, we talk about game managers. This dude is a game manager, and his ceiling is low and his floor is middle of the road. So I don't think he has a chance to get any further than he has. I think he's maxed out. So that's my opinion. That's a Jimbo's take on Mike Tomlin. I love the dude, love his culture. He's a good, hard-nosed, old-school football coach, but I think it's time for the Pittsburgh Steelers to move off of Mike Tomlin. So don't know how you guys feel about that. Let me know what you think. Email me, call me, text me, chat me, whatever you need to do. Give me your opinions on Mike Tomlin. All right. Now, we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about this dude. Okay. Burks. All right. What's that look like to you? We all know what that looks like to us. All right. It looks like an Odell Beckham catch in the end zone for a touchdown. Yep, that's what it looks like. And to think that the press this cat has got this week off that catch. Now, if you could just make money off from that type of catch, one catch, this dude has been just a total letdown in fantasy sports. I picked up Burks long time ago, had a lot of big aspirations for Burks. Everybody loved Burks. Everybody thought Burks was the cat's ass. Burks got injured. Burks went south. Burks didn't perform. Burks got traded. Burks moved. Burks was hurt. Burks this, Burks that, Burks this. But check out these headlines, guys. He's making a one-handed Odell Beckham in the corner of the end zone. And guess what? This dude going to get rich off that catch. He might not play that many more snaps. But I promise you that catch right there makes him some money. All right, so let's talk about reality. Okay? Washington Redskins, where they stand right now in the wide receiver room. Okay, McLaurin's about a goddamn wash, mess. Gonna play, not play. Is it contract? Is it attitude? Is it injury? Okay, yeah, McLaurin had a great game. One goddamn game out of the whole year. How many of us drafted McLaurin with big aspirations, big expectations, and what did the dude do? Didn't do shit till last week. All right. Who else they got? All right. Deebo Samuel. We bring Deebo Samuel in thinking that he's going to be an addition to McLaurin. We're going to have one of the best 1-2 punches in the wide receiver room. What happened with Deebo? He got fat, he got slow, he got lazy, and half-ass injured. And, well, okay, if I play, I play. If I don't play, I don't play. If we win, we win. He's got that kind of attitude. I don't know what to think about this wide receiver room. Is Burks going to be anything? Does he have the capability to perform in this wide receiver room and put up numbers that are respectable in a fantasy team? Right now, it's hard to say yes. This catch, it looks great. That's Odell Beckham shit. Looks perfect. We love it. Is he going to make me some fantasy points? Man, I've been hoping that for the last 3 years. Ain't happened. Can he outperform Deebo? Maybe. Can he outperform McLaurin? Not a hard thing to do. So, if this kid got his shit together, he could be a pretty good wide receiver. Does it happen? Are we willing to take the chance that it happens? I don't think so. Not yet. So, are we playing this dude in our championship weeks coming forward? Hell no. Hell no. Do I like what I saw? Yeah, it's cool. Looks good. That catch looks great. That's a great picture. Everybody's talking nice shit about it. But you can't trust it. But how much more can you trust McLaurin? How much more can you trust Debo? I don't know. But going forward, I think this was a good move for Burks. I'm glad to finally see him on the football field. I'm happy he's playing football. I will not start him in any leagues the rest of this season. If he wants to, put up numbers, I'm glad to see him, and I may chase him. He was a very big pickup on this week's waiver wire. You want to compare that to who maybe else you could have picked up other than Burks? I don't know. But we'll see. He's young. If he gets his head right, gets his health right, he can be a good wide receiver. I know the dude up in New England, the head coach up there, he loved him when he was in Tennessee. But he never really performed there either. So we'll see. It's a great picture, great story. Keeps people talking about the NFL. And we'll see what Burks does going forward. But don't start him. Anyways, all right, moving on. All right, this dude right here. College. We're talking college football right now. All right. ESPN's got this dude at number 7 overall wide receiver for the Ohio State Buckeyes. He has committed to the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, got a little thing in here. What just happened this week in the coaching world in college? Don't be surprised, and you heard it on this show. You heard it on this show. Don't be surprised if this kid does not go to Ohio State. I think this kid is a great football player. I think he is probably better than the top 7 pick that ESPN has him at wide receiver. He is in every one of my DV drafts every chance I get. But does Chris Henry Jr. actually really go to the Ohio State Buckeyes? All right. Now, let's not forget, these guys get paid now. So this ain't about a free ride scholarship. This just ain't about a Big Ten school. For Christ's sake, Carson Beck left the Georgia Bulldogs and went to a losing team, the Miami Hurricanes. But what did he go there for? Do you think he went there for all the pussy walking around down there in Miami South Beach? No. Do you think he went down there for the Hurricanes were going to make him the best football player available for the NFL draft? No. He went down there for the $13 million that the NIL gave him. So pay attention to this kid. He is probably the best wide receiver in this year's walking into college football. So do I think he stays at the Ohio State Buckeyes? I do not. I think the NIL opportunities will allow him to change his mind. Just remember who recruited him. Remember who recruited this kid at Ohio State. And think about where you think he might end up. Do they have the money? Nope. They don't. Does somebody else? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's other people that got more money than the Ohio State Buckeyes. Ohio State Buckeyes pay a lot of money to their coach. Actually, their coach is the 3rd highest paid coach. That's another thing, guys. Check this out. I got another clip. Oh, shit, I don't think I made a slide on it. Got another clip. We want to talk about money in college football. in how you can go from boom to bust. But Deion Sanders in Colorado went from boom to bust. The Colorado football team is broke. They have spent so much money on their coaching staff, all their players for the last 3 years. They are broke for 2026. That is something that a lot of people have not paid attention to that's going on in the NLL, is money. In wrong management of money can lead to bankruptcy. Bankruptcy and little money, no money, we mismanaged money is going to be a real thing in college football. Yep, it's been not on the surface right now because everybody started out with money or a little bit of money or backing of money. But let's talk about wrong steps in college football of spending money. We all know what it's like in our own households when we overspend. But I'm telling you that this new NIL money deal is going to be a problem. In Colorado has proved that this year. They are broke, flat ass broke in the red going into 2026. You go pull the numbers up, it's baffling the amount of money they had last year compared to what they're getting ready to go into 2026 with. Because it's backwards. So here's what I'm trying to say. Look at what they're paying these coaches. Look at who, whoa. Look at who's in number 2. Number 2 on the list, Lane Kiffin. That just happened this week. And now you want to tell me he's the second highest paid coach in college football? What's that tell you? That tells you people make knee-jerk decisions. This dude went from Ole Miss to being the second highest paid college coach. So, pay attention to the money trail. It tells all the story, just like in drugs, just like in crime, just like in fantasy football, just like in gambling, just like in casinos, just like in anything, any business. Pay attention to the money trail. Look at these coaches. Look at what they're making. All right. Be real interesting to see what some of these teams profit after a year's over. Okay, well, let's pull the numbers on Colorado. A year later, they're broke. So we'll see. Again, I think it's all about the product that you put on the football field. I think it's all about the players. The players are the game. The coaches are not. To me, these coaches are interchangeable. There's better ones, there's worse, but they're interchangeable to me. There's been a lot of movement in the college football coaching ranks. I could go through a list. I know our boy from Penn State just got himself a job in Virginia. We'll see how that pans out. I think he'll do well there. We'll see. Not so sure about what went on at Florida. That one is mind-boggling to me in why Lane Kiffin would turn down a job at Florida and take an LSU job. To me, there's something sideways going on with this LSU deal. I don't like it. I think it's going to be short-lived. I think Lane Kiffin's got 1 year to prove what he's going to do. And if he doesn't win a championship next year, I think he's gone. That's my opinion. All right. Now, what are we going to talk about next? We're going to talk about this. I was really hoping to have my kid on the show tonight. He's a big Detroit Lions fan. I tried to get him to come on. My little Red Bull drink. Tried to get him to come on the show. He's a big Lions fan. He's a big Michigander. They're asshole deep up in snow up there right now. And good for you Michiganders that got snow because we don't have it here in Florida. But anyway, Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys, Thursday Night Football. Well, on our Wednesday night show, we always try to preview the Thursday night show. That's what got me in trouble in the first place, I guess. So we might as well keep doing it. Anyway, man, this Chex Mix is cool. You guys ever have Chex Mix? Homemade Chex Mix. Worcestershire sauce, spices, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, I put this together during Thanksgiving for the football game, and it's all about down to the crumbs. But it's still good. Anyway, Detroit Lions playing average football, getting their ass beat. No St. Brown. Does he play? Does he not play? I don't think he's going to play this week. Ford Field. We'll see what happens. We got some over-unders to talk about, like we always do on DFS Advisor for the Thursday night game. We profile that specialty right here thanks to our friends at Prize Picks. And they give us these numbers that they like to play by. So Jared Goff. All right. Over-under on his passing yards, 254.5. All right. What makes you think that without St. Brown, he's going to get 245 yards or 250 yards? I do have the stats here. I'd have to hang on. Let me get off of this and get into. Hang on. I'm not a professional at this shit. I pulled this up specially for you guys. I just got to find it. Because I knew I was going to be doing this segment. So I pulled this up today, and we're going to talk about Jared Goff's numbers. All right. Week 1, 225 yards passing. Week 2, 334. Only game over 300. 202 week 3, 168 week 4, 258 week 5, 203 week 6, 241 week 7, 241 week 8. Their bye week was week 8. Excuse me, that 241 was week 7. Week 9. Come on, telephone. Where'd it go? Week 9, 284. Anyways, I can't see the rest of the numbers for some reason. There it is. Okay. 241 week 7, 284 week 9, 320, his other 300, week 10, 255 week 11, 279, 256 week 13. So, against the Dallas defense that's average, playing good football, does Jared Goff get 254.5 or more against the Dallas Cowboys on a Thursday night football game without St. Brown? Ain't happening. So I'm taking the under on that. Y'all text me, get with me, tell me what you think. I'd put $100 on that right now. Jared Goff, less than 254 yards passing tomorrow night. All right. Let's talk on to his counterpart in this game, Dak Prescott. All right. Now, if you look at the over-unders, if you look at the over-unders for this game, for the two wide receivers for the Dallas Cowboys, I think we'll get to it in a few minutes, but I think it's like 70 yards apiece. All right, so there's 140. All right, what's Ferguson worth? Maybe 30? 170. All right. What's Williams worth? 15? 200. Yeah, 269. Well, that's a high number to me. So when Prize Picks has got those guys at their numbers for their lesses or mores, where's that put Dak Prescott? Is there somebody that's going to come up and make a big deal? Tolbert? Turpin? I don't think so. That's another under to me. That's a Jimbo's hot take under. So I'm taking both quarterbacks for their Prize Picks as unders. Dak Prescott under 269.5 for Jimbo's. All right. Let's talk about this. A lot of people think this is the number one running back in the NFL. Everybody thought it was, Robinson from Atlanta. Everybody thought it was Achane from Miami. Everybody thought it was McCaffrey. Everybody thought it was Gibbs. Who do y'all think it is? You think this cat's the number one running back in the NFL? I don't know. I think he's got a goddamn good season going. Do I think he's going to rush for more than 76.5 yards? Yes, I do. I think against a Dallas defense and a game. Now, this is just rush yards, guys. This is not passing and rushing. If you put passing and rushing into this, it'd be way above. But I'm going to go ahead and take Gibbs for the over or the more for Prize Picks on this. I think Gibbs gets more than 76.5 in this game. I think with St. Brown out, which I don't know if he is or not for sure. I do believe he is out. And I don't think Tesla is going to make up the difference. I don't think Williams is going to make up the difference. They have no Sam Laporta. I think this is going to be a running game for Detroit. I think they're going to have to pass the ball, to the backs. I think Gibbs has a big day. I think he's over the 76.5. That's my take on that. All right, Javonte Williams, 66.5. Big number. It's a big number to me. Is he capable of it? Absolutely. Malik Davis has kind of stepped up and helped out a little bit. Doesn't really take away from that 66.5. The passing game, I think Dallas is going to have to throw the ball to stay in this game. That 66 is a really, really high number to me. I think Williams has a good game. I think he scores 2 touchdowns running the football. But I don't know about the 66.5. That's really middle of the road. That could be an easy 80 or it could be an easy 50. Oh, man, that's right there. I'm going to take the under on that. I'm going to take the under on the 66.5 for Williams. Text me, call me, DM me, chat me. Let me know what you guys think about that one. All right, here's a good one. These two cats. Oh, just what I said. Oh, excuse me. Instead of 70, it was 80. So that kicks it up to 160. That gives you the, 30 for the tight end, 182. Yeah, it still don't get Dak to 260. So, no. So I'm good on my Dak under. CD Lamb, 79.5. George Pickens, 78.5. This just solidifies and confirms what I said earlier about Pickens being the number one and Lamb having to compete to be the number one. This has changed, guys. This dynamic in Dallas has changed. It's changed. CD Lamb is no longer the number one. You can say what you want. But when you got a guy that gets traded to your football team and is average where he came from and comes in and is putting up the numbers with your quarterback, CD Lamb, and then I look at these two over-unders and they're even, CD Lamb is no longer the number one in Dallas. It's George Pickens. That's my take. All right, let's get to these over-unders. Enough of that. CD Lamb, 79.5, under. George Pickens, 78.5, over. I think he goes over 100. CD Lamb does not go over 79 unless he busts an 80-yard touchdown, which is capable of doing, 60, 80-yard catch. but I still think CeeDee Lamb stays under because he's struggling to figure himself out. George Pickens is going to go way over that 78.5. I'm taking the George Pickens 78.5 over on the Prize Picks, less and more. So who we got left over here? We got Williams. We got that. We got that. We got them covered. All right. There's your over-unders. All right. So unless you guys got something pressing you want to talk about. Oh, here's a couple basketball notes. All right, check this out. We got a contract thing going on right now. And you know what Giannis decides to do. He's been injured. All right, I got this dude on one of my fantasy basketball teams. And I've been real pissed off I can't play him because he's been out. So, is he out because of this? I think so. After seeing this, I didn't even know this was happening today. So, his agent, they're all talking about what they're going to do out of there. They're going to trade him. They're going to keep him. They're going to pay him. What are they going to do? But they think they're close. So, that tells me that he hasn't had any good offers. That tells me they're trying to milk Milwaukee for everything they can get. And that tells me he's going to stay where he's at. And they'll decide this in the next couple weeks. In the meantime, he's going to sit on the bench. So if you got him on your fantasy football team or your fantasy basketball team, bench him, trade him, do what you got to do. He's a great basketball player. He's a great points producer in fantasy. But I can't keep letting you sit on my bench while you discuss your contract. So I think that's what's going on there. It's shameful. It's not fair to the fans. It's not fair to basketball. I don't think these contracts should be talked about during basketball. They should be talked about off season when your contract is due, which his is not. And, talking about this stuff right now does nothing but let the basketball world down. Get your contract done. Let's play basketball. Another big story today. Check this one out. Paul. All right. The guy's getting old. Chris Paul is a great basketball player. Is he elite like he used to be? No, he is not. What's going on with this contract and why they just let this dude walk? Why they tell him, here's your walking papers. But the Clippers let him go today. So where he ends up, what he does, he's getting up there in age. Can he still play basketball? Yes. He can play at an average rate. He's not stellar. He's not busting off 35, 36 points a night. Getting old, getting tired. Good game manager like we talk about in football. Interesting to see where Chris Paul goes. There's more behind this than, because his contract was not stellar to where the Clippers couldn't afford it. So why they let him go, I don't know. Why they decided to part ways, but that was breaking news in the NBA today. Chris Paul no longer with the Clippers. So that's over. All right. We got that done. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. We're getting things together, putting things together. Really look forward to the 2026 season. Doing really good in a lot of fantasy leagues. I'm in well over 167 leagues total. 167 is my number. And out of that 167, so far I have clinched 56 some of which are number one seeds, some of which, are buys. But doing good in Dynasty, not so well in all my what I call my expedition brackets, pirates, all your off-the-cuff stuff. But my dynasties are solid. Looking forward to keeping all my dynasties for next year. Really sad I lost some dynasties due to a commissioner, disgruntled commissioner who don't like me. I would have liked to have kept those teams, but hopefully he finds it in his heart to pay me what he owes me for those. If not, I'll get it back another way. I ain't worried about it. And we'll move on into 2026. Make sure you check us out on iHeartRadio, Inner Circle Fantasy, our DFS Advisor. Make sure you get us on our app and, pay attention to everything that's happening. And we look forward to doing the shows on Wednesday night. Don't forget, Jay's going to be starting up on Saturdays. I'm going to be doing the Trucker Fantasy Sports Update, Raw Parody Night Out on Fridays. Looking forward to our parody skits. They've been fun. You guys can check those out. So these two guys are going to let us loose. These two monkeys in the truck are getting ready to go get a beer and get some tacos. So y'all have a good night. We'll see you next week. We are going to do the Saturday. Hang on. My ear's buzzing. Bryce, what'd you say? Yes. Okay. Hang on. Bryce, breaking news. Breaking news right here on DFS Advisor. Bryce just put in my ear that we are doing a show on Saturday night, YouTube. What time, Bryce? 10 p.m. 10 p.m. Saturday night. We are live here on YouTube on DFS Advisor. So check us out. Stay in tune. Y'all have a good night. Peace. Love y'all. See you. Bye.